Hi, my name is Patrick Regan. Welcome to the Computer Expansion series of videos where we go into various technologies used to expand and/or connect devices to your computer. This video is called Expansion Cards and Slots, where we discuss expansion slots, expansion cards, the PCI Express, and various expansion cards such as sound cards and network cards. If you like my video, don't forget to click the like button, and if you have not already, subscribe to the Pat Has Your Back channel. As with most of my training videos, there are practice questions toward the end of the video. The one advantage of today's computers is that they are expandable. Some of the larger computers will have expansion slots, and just about every computer has universal ports that can be used with a variety of peripherals. Of course, this is not meant that all computers are expandable because some computers are too small to accommodate additional devices or lack the expansion components. Today, motherboards already include a large range of ports and other built-in components. An expansion card is a circuit board that gives additional capabilities to the computer, which are inserted into an expansion slot. For example, you may insert an eSATA expansion card so that you can connect SATA drives externally. You may connect a faster graphics or video card or add additional network ports or faster network ports such as fiber. You can add a redundant array of independent disk or RAID adapters so that you can arrange your disk in a way that provides the fault tolerance if you have a failure of a disk. Often when inserting expansion cards, you are adding external ports that are available from the back of the computer. There have been many different expansion slots throughout the years. Introduced in 1992, the Peripheral Component Interconnect, or PCI, was a general purpose and relatively high-speed slot at the time it was introduced. It also supported plug and play, which means that you can insert the card into the expansion slot, and the expansion card will automatically configure itself so it can be used without manually configuring tiny on-off switches. In the server market, PCIe, with the X standing for extended, was standardized in 1998 to offer a higher speed connectivity. In addition, Accelerated Graphics Port, or AGP, was a superset of the PCI standard, which was developed to accommodate faster video cards. While PCI, PCIe, and AGP are considered legacy expansion slots, some legacy motherboards are still produced to support specialized legacy hardware, particularly those found in manufacturing. Today, essentially all motherboards exclusively use PCI Express expansion slots, which replace PCI, PCIe, and AGP. PCI Express is often shortened to PCIe. PCI Express offered high-speed, full duplex transmissions with a configurable number of lanes depending on the overall bandwidth desired. Duplex means that communications can occur in both directions at the same time. PCI Express is used for graphics cards, network cards, SATA expansion cards, M2 non-volatile memory express cards, sound cards, and capture cards, just to name a few. PCI Express expansion cards and adapters include by 1, by 2, by 4, by 8, by 16, and by 32, which specifies the number of lanes used for data. The X is pronounced by. For example, X4 is by 4. A by 4 lane can move 4 times more data than a by 1 lane. If you have more lanes, you can send more data at the same time. The most common PCI Express slots are by 1, by 4, by 8, and by 16. Most graphics cards require PCI Express by 16 slot to operate at their full potential. While by 32 PCI Express slots were designed, but were never really used. Cards can fit into the same slot or bigger. You can insert a PCI Express by 1 card into a PCI Express by 16 slot, but that card will receive a lot less bandwidth. Similarly, you can insert a PCI Express by 8 card into a PCI Express by 4 slot, assuming you can get it to fit into the slot, but it'll only work with half the bandwidth compared to if it was in a PCI Express by 8 slot. Some motherboard manufacturers offer a larger slot size, such as by 8, but the slot runs at a slower speed, such as by 4. Besides the number of lanes, PCI Express also has different versions throughout the years. Slots released with the newer versions are faster than the versions released earlier. It was already mentioned that an expansion card or adapter is a circuit board that is inserted into the expansion slot. To install an expansion card is to insert the expansion card into the correct slot. Then screw the retaining screw, which will hold the expansion card into place. PCI Express by 16 adapters often have a release lever that you must press the lever to release the card. If you don't use the release lever, you may damage the expansion card and/or the motherboard. The operating system usually has a wide range of drivers. However, if the driver is not built into the operating system, you will have to install the driver before you're able to use the card. When purchasing and installing a PCI Express adapter into a PCI Express expansion slot, consider the following technical, compatibility, and performance factors. Physical compatibility includes slot type such as PCI Express by 1, by 4, by 8, or by 16 in size, case clearance, and bracket type. Electrical and power requirements include power draw, such as some high-performance GPUs or non-volatile memory express RAID cards may require the right external power, such as a 6-pin, 8-pin, or SATA Molex power connector. For bus version compatibility, PCI Express is backward and forward compatible, such as the PCI 4.0 card will run in the PCI Express 3.0 slot, but you'll be limited by the lower version speed. For performance-critical cards, ensure slot and card versions match. Make sure your motherboard, including BIOS or UEFI, support the card, especially for RAID, networking, or GPU cards. Some cards may require enabling specific BIOS features, such as above 4G decoding or MMIO settings. Check for operating system drivers for the OS that you're using. Look at performance considerations. Ensure the slot has enough PCI Express lanes. Using a PCI Express by 8 card in a by 8 physical slot, which only supports by 4 electrically, will bottleneck it. On many consumer motherboards, lanes are shared between slots or other components, which can reduce effective bandwidth. In addition to the lanes, expansion cards may come as full length, half length, or low profile or slim. Which of these can you use in your computer will be determined by your motherboard and case. Large towers will support the full-length cards, while some desktops will only support the low-profile or slim cards if expansion cards are available. Sound is created by a vibrating object which produces sound waves that travels through the medium such as air. Sound is an analog signal that includes a continuous signal that allows an infinite range of values to be stored. When stored as a wave signal, it could include unwanted noise and disturbance that is amplified when the sound is also amplified. Computers store and manipulate sound as a digital time-separated signal, whereas you take samples multiple times per second. The more samples you take, and the more bits per sample you take, the more accurate the digital signal represents the analog signal. Sound card is a computer component that is an expansion card or built into the motherboard that translate digital audio signals to analog signals and vice versa. It's required if you want to hear sound from your computer via headphones or speakers, and if you want to input sound with microphones or other devices. Higher-end expansion sound cards are designed to take the specialized job of parsing signals into quality sound, a task that the computer's CPU is not always the most ideal tool for and can produce better quality sounds. You may also have additional ports including support for surround sound, music capture, and microphones. Computers usually have an internal speaker which can provide beep codes during post. The small internal speaker as shown in the figure can be connected to 4-pin connector pins on the motherboard. Some built-in computer speakers can provide low sound, which usually muffles sounds since it comes from inside the computer. If you do not hear beeps from the system, refer to the system or motherboard manual to see if your system includes a speaker, and then check to see if the speaker is connected properly to the motherboard. Speakers are output devices that convert electrical signals from a computer into audible sound waves. They allow users to hear audio from various sources like music, videos, games, and system alerts. External speakers offer more flexibility and potentially better sound quality. Speakers connected through RCA ports, USB, or Bluetooth. Speakers often have their own on-off controls and volume controls. Surround sound is an audio technology designed to create an immersive listening experience by placing speakers around the listener to simulate how we naturally hear sound in real life from all directions. Surround sound components include front speakers, left, right, and center, which deliver dialogue and main sound. A soundbar is a compact, elongated speaker system which replaces multiple speakers such as left, right, and center channels. Surround speakers, side or rear, add ambient and directional effects such as footsteps behind you. The subwoofer handles deep bass sounds like explosions or rumbling. As you notice from the table, Surround Sound 5.1 has 6 speakers and the 7.1 has 8 speakers. The extra speaker is the subwoofer, as represented by the 0.1. When troubleshooting audio that does not have sound, you need to ensure that everything is on and the volume is turned up. Just to make things more complicated and sometimes frustrating, you need to check a few different places. If you have speakers or headphones, make sure they are turned on and the volume is up. Ensure that they are connected properly. If you're expecting sound from the speakers, make sure you don't have headphones plugged in that may be getting the sound instead. You need to check if your operating system and application volume is turned on and turned up. If you have more than one speaker or headphones, ensure that you have the correct output device. In Windows, check to see if your audio service is running. If you're still having problems at this point, open your settings and run the audio troubleshooting in Windows or similar program. For your sound card, ensure the drivers are loaded in the operating system. If you're trying to play back a song or movie file, make sure your media player has the correct codec. If your sound card is built into the motherboard, you ensure that your sound function is enabled in the BIOS setup program. At this point, you'll need to swap out the cables to the sound card and the motherboards one at a time. But popping sound continues when speakers are on. The speaker is probably picking up interference from the computer or another device. Make sure everything is connected properly and try to reseat the connections. The problem still exists. Swap out the cables if you're wired. If you're wireless, check to see if wireless devices, including your router, are causing the interference. Today, most motherboards have integrated video. For better performance and higher resolution, you can install a video card into the PCI Express expansion slot by 16. Also verify that you have the supplemental 6 or 8-pin power connector connected to the video card and that the cooling solution is running properly for the power supply, case, and video card if it has one. If the card is not detected or seen properly, make sure an updated driver is loaded. A capture card is a device used for capturing video and audio and converting it to digital signals that allow it to be shared across internet platforms and played back at a later time. It's used to capture video from television, satellite, live streaming, or external cameras. Video bandwidth can be high based on the resolution and the number of signals. Capture cards will connect to a PCI Express expansion slot. If the card is not detected, make sure you have the correct updated driver loaded. Thanks to newer USB connections, you can purchase capture devices that can connect to your computer via USB or similar connection. Most motherboards provide a network interface. If your card does not have a network connection, the network interface is not working, or you need additional or faster network connections, you can install a network expansion card. If the network card is not detected or identified correctly, make sure that you have the correct updated driver is loaded. Question: which expansion slot would you insert your graphics card? Answer, by 16. Question, what happens when you connect a by 4 PCI Express card to a by 8 PCI Express slot? Answer, it runs at half the speed. Question, what type of expansion card would you install on your computer if you want to record a show from your cable television? Answer, a capture card. For more information, refer to these sites. In summary, motherboards also include expansion slots where you can insert an expansion card into the computer. An expansion card is a circuit board that gives additional capabilities to the computer. Today, essentially all motherboards exclusively use PCI Express expansion slots. PCI Express expansion cards and adapters include by 1, by 2, by 4, by 8, by 16, and by 32, which specify the number of lanes used for the data. For PCI Express, by 16 is the most common because most GPUs require to operate at full potential. Based on lanes, PCI Express cards fit into the same slot or bigger. Sound card is a computer component, an expansion card, or built into the motherboard that translates digital audio signals to analog signals and vice versa. Thank you for watching this video. The next video will be Computer Expansion, Part 2, Ports and Port Expansion. If you liked this video, be sure to click the like button. If you have not already, subscribe to the Pat Has Your Back channel. Thank you.